And let's start off by just saying congratulations to you on 500 wins. What does that mean to you to reach that milestone, or is it too early yet?
It really didn't feel like anything crazy different, to be real honest with you. I mean, coaches are a weird breed in that as soon as the game was over and we got scores of the other games, you started focusing on Upper Iowa. And really, right now, the only thing that's important is 501. Things means I've been coaching a long time, and it means I've been fortunate to coach a lot of really good players and a lot of really good teams. And when you get yourself associated and surrounded by those type of people, sometimes you get more credit than you deserve, and that's basically where it's at.
Okay. Your team did get a rare sweep. It doesn't happen all that much in the NSIC this season just because of the way that things are set up, but you're able to sweep Concordia St. Paul. Let's go back to Friday night, the 76 to 62. Oh, wait a minute. That might have been no, that was right. 76-62 win. Tell me a little bit about that game and what you remember about Friday.
Well, I thought, overall for the weekend, we made some positive strides on the defensive end of the floor. We held them to 62 on Friday and I think 58 on Saturday. So, we certainly had an emphasis on that during the week. And I thought our guys did a better job of focusing in on that end of the floor. And what I thought it told us a little bit is I didn't think we were great offensively either night. And by defending at a higher level, it still gave us a chance to win. I don't know about comfortably, but as the last 10 minutes of both games got there on Friday and Saturday, we ended up really not having to be pressured into any late game situations. And I think a lot of that came down to us just doing a better job on the defensive end of the floor.
All right. What did it mean to you to get Alec Rosner back in the lineup? He had a great game on Friday, and then he got some minutes too on Saturday, but that had to have been kind of an emotional lift for the team.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've missed Alec a lot. He gives us a really good presence defensively. His offensive game has continued to improve each and every year, and we were really excited about what he was going to bring to the table this year. I really felt like he would have been one of the better wings in the league, and or certainly two-way players in the league with what he brings to the table. And we've struggled so much defensively, Justin, that that's I think where he's stuck out the most, that we've missed him. So getting him back is certainly great. I think he would tell you, and he's not anywhere close to being 100% because when it comes right down to it, we were on a COVID pause prior to Christmas, starting on I think the 14th of December. And so that was the last day he practiced because he got hurt about 45 minutes into our first day back after Christmas on the 29th of December. So he really hadn't gone through a full day of basketball since mid-December. And now we were looking at mid-February when he was cleared to play. And so it's good to get him back for some games. We certainly are going to put him to good use. I think he's cleared for this coming weekend to do what we want with him. We were limited to 20 minutes of each night this past weekend, and gives us better depth. We can certainly manipulate and maneuver Luke around at the 3, the 4, and the 5 a little bit more with Alec being available.
Okay. And then the Saturday game, Kevion Taylor hits the three at the buzzer at halftime to kind of give you a little bit more of a cushion for the second half. And then, as you said, you kind of pull away in the last 10 minutes of the game. What did you see on Saturday?
I thought it was pretty similar, to be real honest. I thought it was a big shot by Kevion because we were just kind of allowing Concordia St. Paul to hang around. And it was one of the things we talked about that we did not want to do, is we wanted to try to get them on their heels a little bit early and get them, when you haven't won a game in the league, you can start to doubt what's going to transpire on that particular day. And unfortunately, again, offensively, we weren't very sharp. Put us in a position where they hung around, and then Kevion getting the halftime deficit to 6 or 7 with that shot, I thought was a good little boost going into halftime. And then, again, we kind of pulled away in the last 10 minutes where it was, between 6 and 14 points, I think, the good portion of the last half of the game. And, at the end of the day, we got done what we needed to get done. It wasn't the best basketball we played this year. We're going to have to play a lot better this weekend against Upper Iowa to have a chance to keep playing. But at this time of the year right now, we just need to keep winning games. And so we got done what we needed to get done this past weekend.
So what are some improvements then that you're looking for your team this weekend as they face Upper Iowa? What are some things that you want to see different than say we've
Yeah,
seen?
offensively, the ball's getting a little too sticky. We're using the dribble way too much without purpose. And, our guys are catching it, put it on the deck as soon as they catch it instead of shot faking, pass faking, trying to get the defense off balance. And they're trying to do things that manipulate the defense with the dribble without going anywhere. We want people to use the dribble to attack the rim and to get into seams, to cause help, to create simple plays and easy opportunities for their teammates. And right now, we're not doing that. We're putting the ball on the deck and pounding it 3, 4, 5 times without going anywhere. It's allowing the defense to gang up on us, and it's making our possessions a lot more difficult. So, yesterday in practice, obviously the next 2 days, it's a big selling point to our guys that we've got to get the ball moving from side to side. We've got to get more screening actions. We've got to get just more body movement, ball movement, and hopefully get Upper Iowa confused with their defensive alignments based on our ball movement and body movement a little bit more than what we've been doing.
All right, and then so what exactly then would ball movement do to improve what you're doing offensively? Is that going to free up more open shots on the perimeter? Is that going to make you get inside a little bit more? How does that work?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both probably. At the end of the day, the better chance of breaking the team down defensively is the longer you make them defend. And if you got a 30-second shot clock, you only have to defend 10 or 12 seconds. I'm fine with shooting a wide open shot 5 seconds into the shot clock, but we were forcing opportunities that weren't there early in the shot clock, and it's put us in a position where we weren't getting as good a shots as we needed. We're trying to do too many things. I wouldn't say one-on-one, but our scoring opportunities just came off of things that didn't have a lot of purpose to them. And so by moving the ball, making people adjust, making them go from ball side to help side, make them talk through their switches, their ball screen coverages. At some point in time, you hope to break a team down. And I'm not looking to hold the ball for the last 5 seconds of the shot clock, but we've got to do a better job of recognizing what a great shot is, and there's a huge difference between a good shot and a great shot. We got to get to the point where we're getting more great shots.
Okay. I do want to highlight one individual effort, and that was Owen King on Saturday. I believe it was a collegiate high because I think he had 15 points at South Dakota and 16 points in the game on Saturday. How has he kind of gelled with this team? Have you seen from him what you expected to see when he transferred here?
Well, I don't know if we put any expectations on him per se. We certainly expected him to be an important piece, a valuable piece to what we wanted to do this year. And obviously this year's been discombobulated, obviously, with all the different factors that are going into it. But, it's just good that Owen's back playing. I mean, he didn't get a lot of reps last year at South Dakota State, and I think that's one of the reasons that he looked to find a different school. And we feel like we've given him that opportunity, and we feel like he's earned that opportunity. He's a very skilled player. He's a very cerebral player. We feel like he's a really good shooter. We want him to shoot it on a more consistent basis at a high level. And if he could give you 2 for 5 every single night, that would be really good in our mind. And so, he works at it. He's in the gym, all the time, trying to get more shots up. And I think we get through this season and give him a full off season in our program. I think the next 2 years will be, even better for Owen and for us. And that's something we're excited about.
All right. As we've talked before, you talked about trying to use your bench a little bit more, but you wanted to see that effort in practice before you put the players out on the floor. Have you seen that a little bit more, and have you seen that in practice this week?
Well, I thought our effort was good in practice last week. At this point in the season, I don't know if we're going to necessarily change up our rotations at all. Like having Alec back certainly will. It gives us another perimeter piece, and unfortunately with our front line lack of depth, what it does is it allows us to use Luke a little bit more at the 4 and a little bit more at the 5 with some flexibility. When we were doing that, we felt like then we were using Delonte at the 3, and we certainly can still do that. He's given us some good minutes this year. But the guys that haven't played a lot, I don't expect necessarily to them to jump into what we're doing here this weekend. A lot of them are freshmen. At the end of the day, this was probably going to be a redshirt year for them. And because we aren't losing any eligibility, if we gave them a chance to play any minutes at all, it's certainly going to be beneficial to them in the long run that they were able to see live game action at the Division II level. But, I think right now, the people that are going to come off the bench for us are going to be Nick Klug and and then Connor at the 2, and then Delonte and Alec coming off at the 3, which gives us some flexibility, like I said, to move Luke around a little bit more and hopefully give Kev a little bit more rest and mix and match with the lineups that we have with Andrea at the 5.
All right. Since you brought up Connor, let's talk about Connor Dillon and the spark that he's brought off the bench this year.
Yeah, obviously we certainly thought he had the capabilities of being an important piece to what we're doing now and certainly in the future. Got a knack to score the basketball. He doesn't look necessarily the smoothest player. He's got a little bit of a funky shot, being left-handed, and but he's really athletic. He really gets to the rim. Hasn't really had a breakaway or a driving opportunity to show that to people, but he can play above the rim when he gets a free look at the lane and can get to the rim and finish. He shot the ball really well for us. We certainly want him to be more and more comfortable putting the ball on the floor and making plays for his teammates. And I think he's got a chance to be a good defensive player too. He's just young right now, and I think a lot of things that we ask of him to do on the defensive end have been a little overwhelming for all of our freshmen, and he's no exception. So again, I think this year, in theory, if it was going to be a redshirt year, he's got the best chance of really blossoming moving forward, just because he's had the most experience out on the floor this year, and it's really helped us, obviously, in our first weekend at Upper Iowa, and had a couple other really good games for us also.
All right, let's talk this weekend then. It is against Upper Iowa, as you just mentioned, and in a normal year, you would see teams twice, but because this year is just a little bit different, it's the only team that you're going to see twice. First games technically didn't count in your division. They do count for this weekend because they were scheduled games, but they were close games earlier on, both wins for you. Do you find yourself having a little bit of an advantage because you've seen them already this year?
Probably so, and also, kind of the Southwest Minnesota State coaching tree. Brooks McCown at Upper Iowa was the assistant there. Coaching Concordia St. Paul. Matt Fletcher played at Southwest Minnesota. So, what we saw last weekend, there's going to be a lot of similarities to style of play offensively that we'll see this weekend. So that's made our preparation a little bit, I wouldn't say easier, but certainly our guys are familiar with what we're going to see this weekend. Obviously, we saw them 4 or 5 weeks ago down at their place. They're tough to play against. They've won 7 in a row. They lost the 2 against us. They lost the next day or the next weekend at the first game at Wayne, and then they haven't lost since. They're playing at a really high level offensively. They're averaging about 87 points a game. You got 4 guys that can really, really score it. They play small. They play 4 perimeter players. They can all really shoot it, all shooting above 40% from the 3. Average between 14 and 18 points a game. And then they've got a post player that caused us a lot of problems down at Upper Iowa, Dylan Jones. So, defense is going to come down to whether or not we can get them to miss shots enough. And then offensively, we're going to have to score it at a good enough rate to counter their ability to score the ball. So I expect it to be a great weekend. We know what we've got to do. We've got to win both to keep playing, and they've got to win both to have a chance to win the South. So they're playing for a lot, and we're playing for a lot. It'll be a great weekend.